Hi, Sneha. Can we start?
Yes, we can.
So I would like to introduce everyone with our eminent speakers, Mr. Vivek Singh, Mr. Devesh Chawla, and Mr. Ajoy.
So I'll be interested in interacting more, but I'll give you the basic premises of this entire talk, what it is all about. Basically, what is happening in the world today is that there is one particular technology which is coming up very high and fast, and I'm pretty much sure most of you would be knowing this is the blockchain technology. Now, blockchain is a type of distributed ledger technology. It's a small subset of a larger group called distributed ledger technology. Now, this has been touted as one of the most disruptive technologies in the business marketplace today. Now, the disruption it is basically causing is it fundamentally changes the way we have been writing our ledgers for recording our transactions from the very beginning and establishment of our human society. So take it this way. We human beings are social animals, right? We thrive because we thrive in a society. Otherwise, if you get to see, we are one of the most weakest species which you will find in the animal kingdom. We can't run as fast as like the tigers and the cheetahs. We cannot. We are not as heavy as the elephants and things like that. I mean, a large number of us die from snake bites. We are not even venomous or poisonous for that matter. So if you have, we do not have those teeth, claws, running abilities and other things. And still somewhere we have established safe corners for us and we have endangered other species. Unfortunately, but we have done that. So how did we get to command so much of the Earth's resources to our behalf? Denying the other species is a big question. We could only do that because we evolved as a social, social being, social unit. So our strength really lies in our collective cohesiveness together. Now, how do you bring different people together? By establishing transactions between them, by making each other necessary, correct? So basically what happens is that I can now be an agriculturist and grow a surplus, but I am not really, maybe I'm producing a surplus of grains, but I am not able to, create anything out of metal, which I need for my agricultural equipment also. So somebody must be doing an surplus and creating those tools, but would be needing my grains. So basically what is happening is that I am becoming necessary for the other person and he is also becoming necessary for me. And whatever surpluses that we have, we transact with each other, we trade with each other. This transaction, this trade, that requires a good ledger keeping, because if it does not, then what happens is that over a period of time, this transaction process itself breaks down and we could not come together as a cohesive unit. So we easily understood that to keep ourselves away from any kind of a dispute resolution in this area, we have to bring in a way that we keep honest records of these transactions so that it could be settled at some point of time with equal benefits passing on from the other party involved. Now, the problem is that if it is one or two person, then it's okay. But what happens if there are a multitude of persons, a large number of people who come into the picture transacting? Let's say, for example, today I want to buy soybean oil from Argentina. I do not know anybody there. How do I then trust the person who is in Argentina or Brazil to supply me a specific commodity? I need to establish a trust in this transaction, right? So trust is an important component of this transaction making process, that this will be going through and there will be no counterparty risks. Now, as our society expands and proliferates, unfortunately, trust doesn't scale up with the pace of its expansion and proliferation. In order to solve that problem in the legacy manner, what we had done is that we have introduced a third party to the entire transaction process, who is a trusted central third party. And this guy, brings the trust into the whole process, thereby giving us an environment in which we could collaborate and build ourselves us as a cohesive unit. Now, over a period of time, what has happened is that this person whom we had appointed to keep the ledgers for us has grown powerful enough to make the rules that, okay, if you do not engage into a transaction in this and this format, I will not make a record of it, or I will not make an entry of it. So they went on to be called by different names, right? Starting from tribal chieftain to, let's say, the village elder, to basically the head or the Raja, the Samrat, and so on and so forth today, as the government and the government agencies. And they appointed these people only to maintain records for us. So today, if you see what has our life become, is right from an entry into a birth certificate ledger, which is maintained by the government and the hospitals, to the death entry ledger record, which again is maintained by the healthcare and the government and the hospitals. Everything in between, whatever represents us, has got a government transaction ledger book reflecting onto it. Maybe what certificates we have earned over a period of time, what transactions we have done, with job which we have entered into, how much salary we have drawn, which assets we have purchased against our wealth, and so on and so forth. Today, what I am is basically a mosaic of all the ledgers that has been generated on my behalf. I was watching a movie in some time back in which there is a witness protection scheme or something like that. And one person gets all their data, all the ledgers, deleted away. So they become nobody overnight. All the digital records were just like, deleted. So that's how important, these ledgers are for us. And this technology basically comes and says that, okay, since last 4,000-5,000 years, you have been keeping the ledgers in a human form by involving a trusted central third party. Now you can keep your ledgers without involving this trusted central third party. And you and I could make transactions with the source of trust shifted from this trusted central third party to a basically cryptographic proof of the transaction. What it essentially does is that it digitizes the process. Number one, no human intervention required in the ledger keeping process. Also, what it does is that it reduces the cost, because what is happening is that as the human society is increasing, our population is growing, and our economic activity is also proliferating. It is getting more and more intense with our economic growth. The sheer number of transactions which we are talking about is increasing exponentially. And now we are moving on to a stage where Industry 4.0 revolution is happening, and we are talking of IoTs, IOVs, and other things in which transactions are going to happen between machines, programmed transactions. My fridge picks up my doctor's recommendation of diet and checks if I have enough carrots left for the day or not, and places an order to the local grocery store, which then drop ships the carrots to my place, and it is kept to my fridge, and this entire transaction could be facilitated with digital tokens. My fridge can become my wallet. So these are like smart fridges, smart homes that we are talking about, and the world is actually moving into that stage. Driverless cars sending messages to one another, requesting for passage. Let me overtake, I'm in a bit of a hurry, and it's saying that, okay, give me some digital tokens. I prefer to take these wallets, and then I'll give you the pass. Cost for convenience. Convenience is being commoditized in today's world, and those things are happening. IoT, IOV, and all such stuff is coming today. Now, when this number of transactions are happening, machines are continuously transacting micro payments among each other, micro transactions among each other, do you expect a human to sit over there and make the data records? Is it going to be possible? How many humans will be involved to make, verify, validate the process and then participate into that? What would be the cost of recording such transactions? There is where this technology comes in and makes such a big disruption into the marketplace, saying that, okay, the cost of recording the transactions is going to come down. So the intermediation cost is going to come down. Secondly, I'm going to create a digital record which is easily verifiable. And thirdly, I am going to give you something which is immutable. It is protected with the security of cryptography, which essentially means that data once recorded can never be deleted. And thus, this thing starts serving as a single source of truth. And this can be achieved without involving a trusted central third party in between, only mathematical and cryptographic algorithms running the whole show. Now, if there is one set of rules and a protocol is built around that, it gives fault tolerance. It gives you continuity. It gives you, player agnosticism. It doesn't differentiate between if you're a king or a minnow. It will treat you the same. It does not discriminate. It is an egalitarian solution which fits to the current requirements of our societal transactions. It also automates a lot of things, therefore giving us operational efficiency. So first, we had found out cost efficiencies. We have found out information sharing, and now we have smart contracts and other things which are giving us operational efficiency. Now, all these efficiencies have to be bundled into the business models of today so as to make the businesses much more remunerative and the clients could be serviced at a much lower cost. That increases the revenues for the corporation, that brings down the inflationary pressures on the economy, that provides the customers a greater degree of service at a lower cost. And that is what is happening today. Industries are transforming themselves. The first applications of this blockchain technology there is a McKinsey report, I think it was in 2020, in which McKinsey did a survey that, okay, now after 2017 crash, I think 2018 or 2019, this report came out. McKinsey did a survey saying that, okay, now the blockchain hype is gone. Let us take, once the dust settles, let us take about which are the industries this could be, this is most feasible and has got the largest impact, the use cases of blockchain technology. And you'd be surprised to know that they figured out that the highest feasibility and highest impact comes in public sector, and the second highest comes in financial sector, financial services. Now, we have seen Estonia adopt to the blockchain, efficiencies and provide their services to the e-citizens, not only their own citizens, but you can become an e-citizen of Estonia and you will keep on getting those services digitally at a very, very low cost. And surprisingly, when in, I guess, 1999, when USSR actually broke down, Estonia was a breakaway country and it did not have enough money to run its own finances or its own public services. It was forced to adopt digital services because it did not have enough money to run the country. Number one, 2007, because there was a dispute within the country, they suffered a cyber attack which kind of, put the entire country in darkness for about 2 to 3 days. And everything is there on YouTube. You can go and try looking up for e-Estonia and you will get to know all these things. Then when blockchain emerged, they were the first to take up blockchain in their fold and provide critical services like healthcare services, digital voting and other things into the blockchain fold. Today, they have become data security ambassadors to the world. So much so that the then President Barack Obama, the president of US, he in fact mentioned that if before US rolled out its healthcare plans could have consulted Estonia in some ways, then they could have saved millions in costs. Simply because Estonia is the leadership country which has used blockchain in public services today, and India is looking greatly towards doing that. Then enterprises, if we have to come to the second impact, high impact, high feasibility industry, which was earmarked by McKinsey, was financial services. And today, from the centralized financial services, institutional based services, the world suddenly saw the emergence of decentralized finance or DeFi protocols in 2020. Starting with MakerDAO, when things moved on to borrowing and lending and insurance over decentralized protocols and decentralized exchanges where people, it's not a centralized exchange, it is like people and smart contracts trading. It's an entire organization which runs on smart contracts only, fully automated, and people participating. The legacy centralized borrowing and lending institutions, they are paying you 3 to 5% of returns on lending. The DeFi protocols, on the other hand, are giving you returns of 20 to 40% because they have got their cost efficiency and operational efficiency. Simple. Economics is in favor of this technology. And therefore, we are seeing a big amount of push from the centralized institutions to kind of open up. And now we are seeing, the open banking systems coming up, open finance coming in to replace the centralized finance. So we are seeing this bank bazaar, paisa bazaar, loan bazaar, policy bazaar. All these things are third-party APIs which are reaching out to the very last guys and giving out the solutions at a much more cost-effective way than the banks can themselves do. Because what happens is that the banks and the legacy system cannot reach out to the last mile guys. And you will be surprised to know that today, about 1.7 billion of the adult population is unbanked in the world. 1.7 billion people unbanked in the world. Can you believe that? That's where the banks have failed to reach. And today, internet and smartphone is reaching to them. And protocols, cryptographic protocols like UMA, Universal Mobility Access, and CELO, CELO. Please take these things down and go to the Google and find out about what they're doing. They are bringing finance to those people who just have a mobile phone and internet connectivity, so that now they could become a mainstream participant of the society. Till this point of time, lack of banking access or financial access, they were marginalized. They could no way participate into this entire societal program or take good use of, even the humanitarian benefits that many charitable organizations run. Today they can. They have that access through this protocol. The blockchain technology is making it possible. So a lot of things can happen. And to make those things happen, people require, today we need people who are skilled to actually look into a problem, find an innovative solution, and come across to it. I am hoping that people like you would learn the blockchain technology, would know how to get things done in this way, then maybe pick up a problem. Let's say, for example, today, pineapples in Nagaland, 2.5 kilo big giant kiwi variety pineapples are being sold at 18 rupees per piece by the farmers. The same thing is fetching about 70 rupees a kilo at Bombay. So one piece of 2.5 kilograms is like what? I mean, 140 plus 35, 175 rupees. And this guy is getting only about 10% of that. 90% cannot be the cost of carriage, right? There's something wrong in this whole system. Either give the guy who is growing it more money so that he could invest in his soil and get out better varieties, or give me at a lower price. And you pick up such problems and give out solutions to this, make life for millions much more easier, much more, worthy. Secondly, I go to any city, I find it difficult to get people of my own blood group over there. So tomorrow I always remain at the risk that maybe tomorrow I get into an accident and I need blood. I do not know where to approach to, or even people who have the blood and wish to donate are not aware of my crisis and cannot come to my help. A digital record or a digital messaging system could simplify this. So there are a lot of things to do, and we need skilled manpower to do this. There are real-time problems. There are several other problems, real-time problems, and somebody needs to solve them. So we have a request to finish at 5:30. I'll leave the last few minutes to Devesh because he also has got some very interesting things to say. Devesh, please, if you can. Devesh?
So much for this wonderful session. I know you tried to make this interactive. Questions maybe.
But failed. Yeah.
Minutes on talking about how every time a new trend comes in, it brings in a plethora of opportunities. So, for instance, currently we have seen Ajoy talking about the newer trend of blockchain and cryptocurrency. Now, there have been multiple newer trends in the past as well, which have created huge opportunities for people, which I'm going to talk about. I'm also going to talk about the entrepreneurial opportunities that blockchain and cryptocurrency brings to the table. So let me first take people back in time. Let's move to 2000 when e-commerce and online shopping just emerged. It was a time where people were just buying books online. And slowly and steadily, entrepreneurs introduced buying clothes, gadgets, shoes, belts, everything under the sun. Now people were skeptical because they were like, we are used to going to a shop, trying the clothes, and then purchasing them. Likewise for gadgets, we go, we see how are they functioning, and then we buy them. How can we buy things online? So when newer trends come, new entrepreneurs come and they come with innovative ideas. So they said, don't you worry. You buy clothes, it does not fit you. You can return to us with no questions asked. You buy gadgets, we do an online check. If it's faulty, we'll take it back with no questions asked. So that's the way things changed at that point. It was a eureka moment for a lot of customers because they never imagined that they can actually buy things, use them, and then give them back and also get the money returned. Today, as we see in 2022, online shopping is more of a necessity than a luxury. Today, everyone wants to shop online. Nobody wants to shop offline. It's a passé to shop offline. In fact, today, if you see, our country has 100 unicorns. And out of those 100 unicorns, we have seen that close to 50-55 unicorns are e-commerce companies. So that's the kind of growth we have seen in the last 12 odd years. Leave alone that, when Walmart acquired Flipkart, we also saw at that point of time, the founders had just single-digit equity in the company, but that was valued at more than 15,000 crores. So one can imagine if a single-digit equity is 15,000 crores, how much is a triple digit, which is 100%. Likewise, that is only one unicorn. There have been so many unicorns. What about them? And there are so many who are not yet unicorns, but may become unicorns in the next few years. What about them? So the founders made money. The employees made money through stock options. We also saw that a lot of job creation happened. Millions and millions of jobs got created. In fact, the farthest of the villages, we have seen at least one person working for an e-commerce company, if not more. We saw taxes being paid, so the exchequer made money. We saw percentage contribution to the GDP, so the country growing. So huge benefits. Let's move 10 years ahead, 2010. That was a time when digital college started picking up steam. What happened at that point of time? We saw people were skeptical. If free charge chalega, ki nahi chalega, kya hoga, nobody knows. But today, we see everyone uses a digital wallet, whether it's a Paytm, MobiKwik, free charge, any of those, right? Now, it is also helping in curbing the black money. Today, if we see people don't want to stand in line and pay electricity bills, people don't want to take scratch cards from shops and recharge their phones. They do all of that through digital payment apps, right? So that's how things have changed. Now is the year 2020, where people have seen blockchain and cryptocurrency. Till date, they are skeptically chalega ki nahi chalega, and maybe next 10 years may pass and then people may realize. So my humble appeal to everyone is capitalize on this right away when it's fresh, new, and you've got access to so much of information in your hand. Also, if you see, there are so many people adopting it globally, right from Dubai to Ethereum-backed burger chains to JP Morgan opening a bank in the metaverse and so on and so forth. In fact, I can think of a couple of ideas that one can, actually work on blockchain cryptocurrency. To begin with, one can actually make medical records on a blockchain portal, which is transparent, unfudged. Now that information is given to a doctor. He knows your medical history. He knows what medicines you took, what were side effects, which doctor prescribed you, how much time it took you to heal, etc. And it will make your healing much faster. It also helps the insurance companies to process their claims pretty faster because they have access to your medical records. In fact, if you look at your double action certificate and to authenticate that, it takes you to a portal, which is a blockchain portal developed by the government of India. Another place is where we can find application is supply chain management. So right from the invoicing to the middleman siphoning of money to the slippages, all of these things can be managed if it's put onto a blockchain portal. Right now, I was just giving one example where I was trying to say about how it helped even a young person to create huge wealth for himself. But since we're short of time, I think we'll conclude right now. If you guys have any help, any need, any help, please reach out to us at Crypto Institute. We're more than happy to support you. Thank you, everyone.